very good afternoon to one and all. Welcome to the first International Film Festival Association that the Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science School of Visual Communication brings to you. Today, we have partnered with Takorama International Film Festival, which is very unique in itself. It is an online film festival for children, teachers from all over the world. The uniqueness of the film are based on the theme solidarity, tolerance, respect for others. This film festival allows children to discover new films, new narratives, new stories, new visual universes, and helps them to give their opinion to vote for their favorite film. So, the School of Visual Communication at Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science decides to partner with Takorama Film Festival to assert the educational dimension of cinema by making the children to perceive animated images not only as an entertainment but also as a communication tool. Most importantly, we have with us the co-founder of Ioki Studio, Mr. Christophe Defe, who has worked 15 years in Tokyo as an artistic director and is passionate about cinema for young audiences. He participates in Children Film Festival as a member of the jury. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presentation, and hello everybody.
Hello.
So maybe I can make, but you make a very nice presentation of the festival. So maybe I can just explain why.
Yes,
So,
you can tell about what is this Takroma Film Festival, how it runs, and what is
yeah.
it about.
So first we have an EPO, NPO. The name is Film for Children, and the objective of the NPO is to introduce original film to children, but films that they don't have normally the possibility to watch. And in this and in the case of the COVID and the wheels in France and other countries in the world, schools were closed, and we propose to teachers to continue pedagogical activity at home. So we decide to create an online film festival that teacher can watch at school, but they can also send the link to parents and they can watch film at home. And each film is accompanied with a pedagogical sheet about the comprehension, about the understanding of the film. So teacher can ask to children if they really understand the story and why the filmmakers made this film. So there is three particularities of the film. All films are mute, so there is no language, only music and sound. In one way, it's to give a voice to children, but it's also important to show to more and more children over the world. The second particularity is that it's not recent film. In fact, one of the objective is to give something like a second chance. It's not a chance, but a second chance to short film, because in fact, some short film are very short life. A lot of film as seeing just during the festival. So during 1 year, for example, if a film is made in 20s, it will be viewing in 20s, 21. And after, it's very difficult to find the film and to watch them. So we are picking film, not recent film, but more older film. For example, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And the third particularity, to find original film for children, we are looking for film not especially made for children. In contrary, it's normally film made from adult or for students in, for example, movie school. But we pick up some film that we think they are suitable to children, and we make categories about age. So we select film, and we, not only us but our partner, say this film will be suitable for 3 years old. This film is interesting at 18 years old. So here is the way that we create the festival.
That's really interesting. That's nice thing to hear. So today we have with us our first guest, Miss Monique Renault from France, for her film entitled Borderline. She is the first female animator to openly discuss about women's sexuality, gender, and prejudice since the 70s. Her sharp sense of humor and irony make her film not only open-minded but also disarmingly funny. Welcome, ma'am. Hello.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to our program.
I was writing about what I had to say.
Okay. Right. And you can talk about the film that you have made, Borderline.
Yes. I live in Amsterdam. Originally I'm French, but I am a widow of a Dutch cameraman, and it's now about 40 years I live in Amsterdam. And for me to come to Amsterdam was made a big difference between my life in Paris, because I, in the Netherlands I discovered a country with a lot of opening for the women filmmakers, and the opening of all ideas. It was for me a very, very big difference. And then I started to make my own films with subventions of the Dutch government, which was absolutely impossible in Paris. I was always said, you are a good assistant, but leave the men to be filmmakers. And that's why I was very much involved in making my own ideas. And I thought if I wanted to change something in the society, I had to do it myself and not leave the other people to tell me what to do. I had to develop my own ideas, and that was why I did Borderline. That is the limit between women can accept. I mean, there is in the work there was always the man was the boss. Maybe it has changed a little bit now, but I'm not quite sure. I mean, you have to tell me. And that's why, you see, the man is going to, the idea was the man is going to develop himself without, well, yes, you see. But the woman, in fact, she has two jobs, one at home and one at the office. And then she worries all the home problems when she's working, and the man he just go on with his ideas, with his work. He got a lot of more possibilities, and that's what I wanted to express in my films. Also in other films, there was always, I had. I am a mother also, and my husband and I, we did really our best to share our work with the children, and that was I wanted also to show in my films. Being a woman, it's not only at home; it's also in the work. It's in the world. You have to show yourself, not to be ashamed of what you are doing, and you and there was also one thing very much important for me is to use humor. You have to when you make people laughing, you always win a point. When you make and with animation and with drawing, it's that's very important. I mean, maybe you will see in other films that have been shown to you that humor is very important, and to it gives you distance. You are always being able to see things in a different way, and not to let people judge you only one line. It's borderline.
Yes, yes, it's borderline. Yeah. We have this trailer of your movie. I'll just play the trailer so that the viewers can have a look at what we are actually talking about. So I'm just playing the teaser of your borderline. You
Okay.
have really given a way of importance what women does in office as well as in home also. They are evenly engaged in both the activities. That is
Yeah.
one good thing. Yeah. So
And it's a very interesting film for children of 12 years old. This film is the category 12 years old. It's very interesting when teacher asks to children first, why do you think there is some plates on the women table, and uh, and how can you feel the difference between man and woman, and the drawing behind the man and the woman are always
Yes, you are
showing
swimming. No, I am the only one.
yeah.
Well, the film was very well accepted, in fact. And I was joining a group of women. We were doing a program for women that was on every Sunday evening on the at 7 o'clock, when it's were very well prime time. And we were about 6, 7 women doing having different subjects each month. And that was really something quite exceptional in in Europa. I mean, maybe there was something like that in the States, but we were always treating other subjects for women and sexuality, women and money, women and religion. And each time I was doing a small sentence, small interruption to give another sense, to give more place to the discussion between the women. The discussion was between one interviewer with a few women, and then families of grandmother, mother, daughters, and they were talking all together about that subject. And borderline was part. They took borderline also to be shown in that program, but it was not made for children. It was made for all discussion, for everybody, and everybody is also children, of course. Yeah, that was the objective of the film.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Because one of the objectives of the festival is also to show film in the educational way. So that's why children or students are doing not specially made for them, but they can watch and use it like pedagogical tools.
The title of Borderline, it's clear, but also the illustration for the title. That was a woman walking and carrying on her back a chair with everything she had to carry on herself. And that was, for me, that was very explaining what a woman has to do to live in the normal life. And I am afraid that even if it has changed, women also, what's important for me also is that boys take part of the discussion. In my workshop, because I gave a lot of workshops, I always took very much care that boys were allowed to express themselves, to say what they think, to make their point of view, that they see that that there is a difference between Papa and Mama, and that Papa comes. That was really the very usual illustration. Papa comes back home and sit in the chair and take his newspaper and wait until the dinner is served by Mama, who has been working all the day and have been early in the morning doing the washing. That is boys have also to see that and to talk about that with their friends. It brings a good discussion, and that was always my point of view. Also, violence against women. The film was distributed in police officers in hospitals, because they really have to understand what the role of the women, what they carry, what they have to do, and men have to be. We are both. I mean, we share the world. We have to take care that the world goes as a half men and half women, and we are together. We have to go on together, and that was my point of view. And as I said before, as much with humor as possible. Make them laugh, make them laugh, make them laugh.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Monica, what is the main reason of you choosing animation as a tool to express your thoughts?
Oh, well, animation for me, it's a very long story. When I was at school, I was bad in almost everything except telling stories and in drawing. And once I saw a film made by Norman McLaren, Canadian, and that was at school. I saw the film at school. I had the feeling it was drawn on paper with a black pencil. And I thought, wow, because I knew Walt Disney films, but never gave me the idea that I could make it myself, a film. But I had the kind of revelation. I can make my drawing moving. And that changed my life. And I wanted to go to the art school in Rennes, in Brittany, where I come from, and then in Paris at the École Nationale des Beaux-Arts. And I wanted to join a school to learn animation, but did not in that time. There were no school, that, at least in France, and I didn't know. Then I had to start working in a studio, and we were only three, a very small studio. We were only three: one cameraman, one animator, and me. And then I started to do what all the world, except in the States, where some female animators were accepted, but that was no women. Women were not animators, but I started to do the painting and tracing and painting. One side to do the tracing on a plastic cell, and the other side to do the painting. And that was usually maybe until now, that was usually the girls' work. But I wanted to learn animation, and because we were only three in the studio, then I could learn quite to make some animation very, very quickly. And then afterwards I went to study in Prague. I got a scholarship to study animation in Czechoslovakia. And when I came back to Paris, I wanted to make my own film, to start to make films, but that was difficult. And then I went to a film festival in Annecy, a big international animated film festival, and I saw there how women in films, in animated films, are shown, and that was, the woman waiting for her husband to come back home and be hungry, and the man, I'm sorry, and of the woman, a nice woman, but having fun, and that was not what my mother, my sisters, myself, my friend, all the women I knew were like. That was not the reality. That was a man a man's fantasy. And then I thought, no, I don't want that. I want to do something else. I want to express myself. I want to express uh, the reality of the women. And as I said before, if I wanted to change it, I understood that I had to do it myself. And when I started to make animated films in Paris, my first film was Psychoderge. That was the story of a woman. She nails her foot. She paint her foot nails, and then it's only 1 minute. I couldn't afford to pay longer, and she stand up and she gives a off. She kicked the bottom of a man. You don't see him. You just saw him at the end when he's flying in the air and the woman is laughing. And that was my friends in animation, in French animation. They said, "No, it's not good for you. It's bad for your picture. Uh, stay an assistant. It's what you are good in." But Marco Ferreri, the Italian director, for a film named, a very successful film, feature film, live action named La Grande Bouffe. But I don't know if you know the film, but it was an enormous success, and it shows it to be before his feature film, and then it was shown by everybody, and in international. It was a really a big success. My film, Psychoderge, and I thought, yeah, well, then now I will get a scholarship to no, I will get enough money um, to do my next film, but no, that was not possible. I was invited to have a drink, to have dinner. I was very nice in that time. I was 30 years old, and and I was invited, but not for talking of films, and that makes me more stronger to wanted to express myself as a woman, and then it went so on and so on. I never could make in France. I could never make a film normally. I always had to pay myself working. Yeah, and well, I repeat myself, but when I arrived in the Netherlands, then first I met a man who wanted to marry me, and then I got. I could work finally. I could work normally and express. They understood me. They understood what I want to do. I had distribution. I had money to work, and also I had a lot of big film de commande. Comment on dit ça? Film de commande.
We see other film. I mean, something like not commercial film, but a film that that client ask you to do.
Ordered films. Yeah, for about the different subjects concerning women, and also women and the law. All men are created equal, and that was I was recognized, and that made a big difference. I was recognized as a woman filmmaker. Yeah, and that's it about it.
Thank you.
Okay. So next we have Mr. Robert, Ed Roberts.
Okay. Thank you, Monique. Very much.
Hello. Hi. So Ed Roberts is from Holland, and his film is going to talk about Apple Monkey. He likes scribbling away and is award winning for arts and animations in short stories, illustrations in feature films, advertisement, musical video, and television genres. He is a 2D visual effects visualizer, creates Hollywood blockbuster videos in television shows. Few of his works were in Dora, The Voyage, Venom, Dr. Dolittle, Sinbad, and he's a craftsman with high attention to details. Hello, Edwards.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah. So nice.
So,
Very happy to see you here.
thank you for having me.
Mhm.
I made Apple Monkey 21 years ago, 22 years ago. I was at the Newport Film School, and during a holiday, I was in Italy, in Florence, and I was walking through a market, and I saw across the way, I saw a painting, and it caught my eye, and I thought it was a hot air balloon. And I went up closer to it, and it wasn't a hot air balloon; it was actually a tree. But I liked the painting, and I bought it with an idea to maybe using the idea of the hot air balloon as a motif in a film. I was always searching for ideas that I could use, coming up with film ideas. And then during my second year on the course, I remember one evening I wrote down on a scrap of paper the synopsis for the story. Originally, it wasn't a monkey; it was a fox, and there were lots of different permutations of it. But the basic general idea and theme was there from the very start: the idea of greed and not sharing. I wrote it down on a bit of paper. I intended to make it in my spare time alongside my college work, and it just sat in a folder for a while. And when it came to my final year, we had to come up with an idea for a film, and I was trying to work out what to do, and I'd shown the idea, the synopsis to a friend, and he said to me, "Are you going to make Apple Monkey?" And I went, "Oh yes, I should make it, shouldn't I?" I was trying to think of a different idea, and it hadn't occurred to me just to, I already had one sat in the folder. So the summer between my second and third years, I went off to the zoo. I started drawing monkeys, took video footage of them. The design evolved from that, and it's not actually a monkey per se. Technically, it's an ape. I didn't realize this at the time. It's monkeys have tails, and my monkey doesn't have one because I was drawing gibbons, and I didn't realize that. So the design is a gibbon, and that came out of the life drawings I was doing. And then during my third year, I developed the story, and it went through many different iterations. There were lots of discarded ideas. But as I said, the theme of greed and not sharing was always there. And I wanted to try and create something which was sort of really entertaining to watch. I was a massive fan of The Monk and the Fish by Michael do Dr. Witt. And what I love about that is there's a kineticism, there's movement, there's energy. It's an entertaining film to watch, but there's also a message to it, and that's something which I really admired. The film took about 8-9 months to make. There were lots of ideas I came up with, which I threw away. And what was also good was I had a lot of my classmates, students I was working with. I'd show them stuff, I'd show them ideas, and I'd bounce ideas off them. It was a really collaborative effort. And I worked really, really hard on it for that time, for my third year. And eventually, I got it finished by the skin of my teeth, right to the wire. And I was able to enter into festivals around the world afterwards. And then that was my calling card. When I graduated, I was able to send it out to studios and say, I've made this film, and try to get work. I wanted to do drawn animation. But at that time in 2000, drawn animation was sort of on the decline. But I got very lucky. There were some studios still doing it in London. And I went in and did some work experience. And the film was a good calling card for that. It showed, that I knew something, but I also knew I had a lot to learn. I can remember a specific moment making the film that I realized I was really enjoying animating, the process of drawing, and trying to bring things to life, and thinking, this would be a really nice thing to be able to try and do. I didn't know if I would be able to do it. It was just sort of, a dream, that maybe I can get out there and maybe someone would hire me. And thankfully, luckily, I've managed to continue doing it ever since. That's it.
We'll watch this teaser so that the viewers will have an idea of what we are actually talking about.
Sure.
So now they know what we are actually talking about. How you got inspired about this making this particular short film.
Yeah, the sequence there. Originally, where the sequence we just saw, you see the monkeys in this tree with his apples, and the man's floating by in a balloon over the island. And originally, the idea was that the man would actually start way off. You see the beginning of his journey, and that's the wonderful thing about a filmmaking process, and also collaborating with other people. That you cut stuff out, you add stuff. I really came up with many different set pieces of the man and the monkey fighting. And at times it became too overblown, too complicated. I'd show it to people and they sort of, take this out, add this. The whole basic premise was to try and come up with them clashing against each other. Why are they fighting? What are they fighting over? The apple, of course, is it's very symbolic. It has biblical references, the seed of life and all that. And the fact that they're fighting over this fruit. And ultimately, without giving the end away, is they both lose out. And I hope I made something which was sort of entertaining and fun. And there's a slight twist at the end that maybe you didn't see coming. And then there's a message there as well that, I think is especially prevalent nowadays. The more time passes, and especially in the last 20 years, global warming, climate crisis, people just being, especially with the COVID situation, people sort of uniting against something and being, working together. I think that message is just as prevalent, and if not more so nowadays, and especially to do with the climate, and sort of the fact we only have one planet, one Earth. And yeah, hopefully it's really great that this film has had a fresh lease of life 20 years after I released it. It did a festival run for a couple of years, but ever since then, I haven't really shown it round. So hopefully, people seeing it now can sort of take something away from it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Robert, bringing your concept of monkey and apple, how do you think it can convey the meaning in a global level?
So, meaning in a global?
Yeah, in the global level. You mean like the audience-wise? You have a variety of audience, especially the children's wise. How do you think your animation will convey the real meaning?
Hopefully, first and foremost, I think in order to convey meaning in a film, you have to entertain people. It's like what was said previously with Monique, try and make people laugh and then also have a message. It's much easier to convey that message if they're entertained and you're not too heavy-handed with it. You can therefore take it at two levels. You can either watch the film and be entertained, but hopefully you also see something over here and you get the message. And I think with my film also that the message isn't conveyed until the very end, where there's the twist, and that I hope surprises people and they realize that the theme was greed and they both lost out. There is a sort of slight sort of the issue of the film is the men have invaded the monkey's natural habitat and taken away his resources, and we've both lost out basically. So man needs to live with nature and not use it up.
Well, one of the question in our pedagogical sheet is, do you think it's better to fight or share?
The answer is to share. Definitely, yes. Otherwise, we both lose out. This is it. Nothing comes from greed. I don't think nothing good. And I think that's sort of a wider message also for the world today as well. There's far too much greed, not enough people looking out for each other, sadly.
Robert, did you find any difficulties in making it to convey your real meaning? Did you have anything of that sort?
Yeah, definitely. I think there are two sides to it. I think, first of all, you have the script and the story and the themes. As I said, that went through many different iterations. There were many things I threw away on the side. And paring it back till it was just at its most basic level so that it is just these two, the man and the monkey, fighting over the apple and stuff. There were many different endings as well, in terms of the original idea of using the balloon to make the apples float away. That wasn't there at the beginning. That came organically, and I think that's part of the filmmaking process. You know, it all seems quite obvious when you watch it, but at the time, you know, you have to think of it. You have to discard ideas, come up with different things, and see what works. So that's the idea stage. But then there's also the physical stage, and certainly at that point in my life, I'd never tried to make anything that ambitious with characters interacting with one another. We were on the cusp of digital technology when I made it in 1999 to 2000. I had the option of possibly making it actually on physical film as opposed to working digitally, but we were the first year that worked digitally, and that aided me greatly. And I said I worked my socks off on it. I was in the classroom 24/7 with my friends and classmates, just working around the clock on it. And I think it was a really exciting time for me. I didn't know what the end product, or if I could do it, if I was going to finish it or not. And therefore you blindly plow forwards with optimism and hope. And that's what carried me through. I went through a massive stack of A4 paper and scanned it all into the computer. All of the backgrounds were done on ink. Scan those in, and then I just layered it all in the computer and processed it. So there's two sides to it. There's the script challenge and the idea, and then there's the physical manifestation of that, which is a challenge unto itself. I think I'd love to actually possibly go back and remake it. There's definitely some shots I think could be sort of described better, some angles. And also, having worked professionally for 20 years since, I'm also, thankfully a bit better as an animator, as an artist, so I could actually do a better job on it. Because I didn't know what I was doing back then, but that's part of the joy, part of the fun.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Christopher, over to you. Like, you want to add some points about the Roberts film?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Do you want to add any points about Robert's short film?
No, the film of Monique, we add it in the category from 12 years old, and the film of Ed we class in the category of 3 years old. No, I don't have no. Thank you very much. No, but I think our two other directors can't join us.
Okay.
So maybe at the end of the live, we can just show the teaser. It's other category. It's also from 12 years old, something like that. But so I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't reach them actually. So no, and I don't have other question to it, or maybe just actually about your recent work. You say you dream that we can make a new film. How about it? Or
yeah, I think when I first graduated and got work professionally, I didn't feel I was ready to sort of make anything. I wanted to improve my craft as an artist, and I learned. I was working as an assistant, like Monique says. I started out as an assistant, and that was actually really good. It gave me a really strong grounding in skills and techniques, which I didn't know before. And slowly, I started getting animation work, doing storyboarding work. And so my confidence has grown, and I feel ready maybe now that I could make something which I can fulfill those sort of ideas you have in your head, and make something which hopefully people would enjoy seeing. I've got 2 or 3 ideas, and the problem is always time. As we all know, animation is incredibly time consuming to do. I'm very fortunate to work in animation, but my job takes up all of my time pretty much. I need to try and sort of pull my finger out and just try and make something. Start simple, start with scripts, start with some design, start with some storyboards. But I think the sort of similar themes, I like those themes of the people clashing and fighting, and we show the repercussions of that. Those would be the sort of general ideas behind them. But I need to start just scribbling down some ideas. And also now we're working digitally as well. I made Apple Monkey and I worked professionally for 15 years on paper. Now we're working on Cintiqs and working in TV Paint and stuff. The possibility to work much faster and quicker, and it's easier. It's much easier to make something now. So that is sort of something which I've been thinking about for the last 3 or 4 years.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So as Christopher tell that I'll play all the teasers so that the viewers can have a look at it, and then Professor Leo will give the vote of thanks for this today's session, starting with the Constantine's trailer.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank all the directors, Roberts, Monique, and the other Constant who is not able to join us for this wonderful session. You are able to enlighten us with all the insight in making as well as in conveying the real meaning of it. And secondly, I'd like to thank our manager for this film festival, Chris, for bringing these people together. Okay, and we never expected this film festival discussion to happen, but he made it happen. So we were very happy about it, and it's because of his constant in touch with us. Today we are able to have the discussion, especially in bringing Monex as well as Robert. Both, I'd like to thank you for joining us. It was very wonderful to listen to you and get all the insights. We also express our thanks from the management side of my college, Kumaraguru. Please do feel at home when you have a time when everything settles out. We like to welcome you to our campus in India. You can come and visit us, and please do interact with our students when there is a time for us, when this COVID pandemic gets over. Before I end up, I'd like to remind the audience we will be joining up a few more directors in the next YouTube live session in coming days. Those updates will be updated in the website as well as in the YouTube. Till now, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.